Hey, how you doing? Ben back in another video, and today I'm talking about why the Houston Rockets are not good and will probably miss the playoffs this year. Now, actually, that's kind of a stretch. I would not be surprised if they do make the playoffs or if they even do bounce back from this awful start that they are off to, because I know they've been plagued with injuries, but I also do not think they are anywhere near as good of a team as they were last year. So I'm going to be getting into why they just aren't as good as they were last year and why they have been struggling as of late. As we all know, they have been off to a very, very rocky start. So without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the thing to really get into why they're struggling, let's get into the things that really helped them benefit them last year and actually propelled them to all that success. Last year, they took the lead by storm with the duo of CP3 and MVP James. Took the lead by storm. No one could guard them. They were one of the most unguardable tandems in the entire NBA, which propelled them to a 65-17 record last year and getting the 1 seed in the Western Conference last year, getting home court advantage against the Warriors and being 1 game away from going to the NBA Finals. And they were a top 10 team in defense and the best offense in the entire NBA in the rankings, and also had one of the best supporting casts in the entire NBA. So literally everything was going their way. They shocked the NBA. They had one of the best backcourt duos, the best guard duos in the entire NBA. Were the best in the stronger conference. Plus their backup and their bench was very, very strong. But now this year you see that they pretty much have a similar replica of the team, but they are struggling a lot more. So I'm getting into why they're actually losing games and why they are not looking anywhere near the level that they were last year. First reason is going to be they literally downgraded in every asset that made them strong last year, as over the offseason they lost 2 very key players to the team, Trevor Ariza and Luka Balamute. Now Ariza was one of the biggest parts to the starting lineup that they had last year, outside of Chris Paul, James Harden, maybe Clint Capella, as Trevor Ariza served as one of the best 3-and-D veterans in the entire game, was able to get you points, was a very streaky shooter. If he caught fire, he was going to catch on fire, he wasn't going to miss, and could definitely give you 17 points a game while locking down whoever he's guarding, which is very important. Then Luka Balamute, he's just one of those veterans off the bench that can play very good defense, and he was playing pretty good defense off the bench, and he actually helped propel that defense into that top 10 ranking that it was. And I mean, it's just very nice all around to have 2 players like that, but losing them really did hurt a lot. But I mean, just look, after they lost them, they then replaced those 2 with an unproven young guy in Marquese Chriss and one of the worst defenders in the NBA in Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony is one of the worst defenders in the entire NBA, like, period. And like one of the worst defenders we've probably ever seen in the NBA. He's like very bad. He doesn't even try on defense. He is just an awful defensive player. For some reason, he's very good on offense, but not very good on defense. But now his offense is also not looking that good this year, just because he's getting so far off his prime. But I mean, even the players that they brought in, yes, their defense is not that great, but I mean, you can see those 2 losses are hurting them so much, as they went from being that top 10 defense, 6th overall in the entire NBA, to being the 20th worst defense. So I mean, their defense is hurting a lot, and they're giving up a lot more points than they did last year, which is actually hurting what makes them such a strong team, which is their offense. But to make it worse, the 2 guys they brought in are not performing well at all, as Carmelo's only averaging 13 points per game, and he's not doing it very efficiently, and Marquese Chriss has been off to an awful start, averaging 2 points per game. So I mean, when you look at everything, they are not doing very good at all. And right now, what made them so strong is one of their biggest weaknesses, that they are ranked the 5th worst offense in the NBA. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think their offense is going to improve, but can it get back to that number 1 top 5 offense it was in the NBA? I don't know. It is looking very bad right now, and that's something the Houston Rockets strive off of. I mean, the fact that last year why they were so good was because not only the way they played, but also because their offense was so good, but they could also defend you. So I mean, they would be outscoring you, plus they're going to stop you from scoring because their defense is so good as well. It is very hard to beat a team when they are playing all high levels at both sides of the ball. But when you only have one side of the ball working at a very high level, you are going to struggle to win games. But now my second reason is going to be they're no longer a surprise team. Last year, they were a complete and utter surprise. No one knew how Chris Paul and James Harden were going to play together. They clicked right away, and they played extremely well, and the chemistry was definitely there. But also, I mean, even the Warriors weren't expecting this. The Houston Rockets shot way more threes than anyone has ever ever done in the NBA, and it was paying dividends as they were just outscoring opponents, scoring tons and tons of points, and that was how they were winning games, and no one really knew how to guard that, because like obviously you still wanted to respect the drive, but they were shooting so many threes off so many screens and doing so much ISO ball. I mean, it really was hard to guard. CP3 was one of the best point guards in the league, top 5 point guard, probably can shoot. He improved his jump shot a ton when he came to the Rockets. His job was actually made easier with the addition, since James Harden was so good and was playing at that MVP level. And like I said, James Harden just now was playing at an MVP level, so some of the best basketball of his entire career. So that helped Chris Paul a lot, but Chris Paul was playing very well. So they really complemented each other's game very, very well. Clint Capella had one of his best years, and he was grabbing boards and doing all the dirty work they needed. So it really did help them a lot. But one of the biggest reasons why their team is not looking very good this year is they got older. I mean, just look at this. See, Chris Paul, who's already 32, is going to turn 33 years old this year, and I mean, once you get to that age, that's about where you start dropping off. James Harden just turned 30 years old this year, and I mean, once you get 30, that's your prime year. 31, 32 is when you start slowing down a little bit. 33 is when you start declining, so he is starting to get close to his ceiling, and and isn't going to be improving as much as he has been every other season. And then also another huge piece of their team, PJ Tucker, is 33 years old as well, and will be turning 34 this year. And I mean, with him declining, it's going to hurt because he was their garbage man. He was like their Dennis Rodman, grabbing boards, getting on the ground, playing defense, doing all the scrappy stuff that you like, and he was doing that for him. But with him getting older, he's losing a step, and he's not going to be able to do those things as efficiently as he once was able to do. And then Eric Gordon, the 6th man of the year 2 times, very good player off the bench, probably one of the best you can even find off the bench, is now 30 years old, so he is also getting close to his ceiling, and he's going to start slowing down as well. So I mean, with all these reasons, I think that you can definitely see why the Houston Rockets would not be that elite team that they once were. Now, will they make the playoffs? Maybe as an 8th, 7th, 6th, or maybe even 5th seed, but I would not be surprised if we do see the Houston Rockets missing the playoffs and see a team like the Clippers or maybe even the Kings, with how good they've been playing, move into the playoffs and take their spot. Now, obviously not the number 2 spot, but maybe that A spot that Houston would be fighting for. So I think the Houston Rockets are going to be nowhere near the elite level, and as the years go on, as they get older, as teams get even more film and they're even less of a surprise, and as their lineup just continues to deteriorate, I think they're going to get worse and worse, and that's what we're seeing with them. And I think that last year was their only year that they really had a chance to win the finals or go to the finals, and they kind of blew it, with not really their fault since Chris Paul got injured. And so I mean, yeah, not their fault, but still, that was their only chance. They didn't take advantage of it, and that is what happened. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going to be so comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think Houston is declining? Do you think they can get back to that elite stature they were once at? Do you think they will never get there? Do you think they will make the playoffs? On here are your thoughts in the comment section below. And also, if you disliked the video at any point, the like button and subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. And I cannot thank you enough for all the support I've been showing. We're at 900 and how many? 900 and I think 69 subscribers. We're at 69. So almost less than 30 subs away from 1K. I'm going to keep writing out these videos every single day for you, every other day for you guys, and maybe bring it to every day. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing every other day for like 2 days now, but I mean, I think I still want to do it every day, and if I can't upload a video every day, I will be uploading a video every day for you guys, and on the weekends, I'll be uploading them every day. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty much still going to be the exact same schedule, unless I literally cannot get it out because of basketball. So I mean, yeah, with all that said, can I thank all for all the support, but also I have to give all praise to God. He blessed me with the computer, blessed me with y'all to see these videos. He blessed me with the motivation and the grind to keep posting these videos all the time for you guys, and I cannot thank y'all enough, and I cannot give enough praise to him. But like I said, that's it for this video, so I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye, boo. Blah, 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 blah.